I love our collective. Welcome to this morning's meditation. Welcome. Go ahead, take a nice deep breath in. All of you brilliant souls coming into this brilliant space, this brilliant light. And I am intentionally using that word because as you close your eyes and settle in to the space that you are in, to this room, to this moment, I want you to call forward that word, brilliant, brilliant. And as we call forward, as we always do our light link, let brilliance be your guide. As you envision the sun shining down upon you, let it be brilliant. Let it burn through all of the dross. Let it burn through all of the intensity. Let it burn through this incredible journey we call life. It is wrought with so many ups and downs and just where are we going? And rawness. I've had some clients that have been on some really intense, challenging, fraught with some deep heartache and loss for some, and others just moment to moment intensity of what being on that cutting edge, the tip of the arrow of what it really means to be alive, where life is captured in the essence of its fragileness, where each moment is held in the presence of a breath. And when we feel and sense that, in its brilliance, I want you to capture right now the essence of the sun. And anchor yourself into that energetic of the sun. Our journeys begin so much earlier than our human selves remember or track in our day-to-day lives. We lose that memory of where they began and where even they are going. And so it is this calling forward of the energetic of the sun, the golden flame, that we remember our identity. We remember are oriented to our origin point. And our origin point is that essence, when we allow it to shape our identity and inform us, helps us see through, find that stabilizing throughput through the highs and the lows. For an arrow flies straight. It cuts through the ups and the downs. As you envision the brilliance of the sun, let yourself feel the essence of each breath in the brilliance of the pressure of your lungs opening. So many people get caught in the weight and the density of living this life. And we know depression correlates to, or I should say, science and the medical spaces, at least the natural medical spaces, will teach us that depression is connected to diabetes and heart disease, right? They all come back to the root source of inflammation in our gut biome and all of the other spaces. And we know energetically that depression is just depressed energy, too much weight, feeling the heaviness. Louise Hay tracks depression to the lungs, too much weight to carry. And so as you think out into your future, think of all of the moves that you aren't even aware of yet. Think of the weight you must carry for the souls you feel responsible for the task at hand that spirit is calling you towards. Think as you look to your past, the task that spirit and your soul has handed you, and how you've cleared all of that weight, all of that density out of the path. I speak to this weight because if our lungs carry that, I want you to feel this breath. We're grounding this light link into our body and feel this breath. As you breathe in, your heart pumping the blood, expanding the ribs, your divine will to be here, the essence of who you are before you can even remember that you planned this. You came into a womb, you came into this vessel, these two cells colliding from some dreamt space. And I'm not even speaking of your parents' dream to bring you into form, if that's even a true statement, but your dream and desire to come into manifest form. You dreamt this. It was an illusion at one point, and you brought it into physical form. And at some point, you had to breathe these lungs in and had to push against that weight of the world. Go ahead and let yourself drift into that first breath, that first inhale of oxygen. Taking a few breaths until you find it. And from that first push, out and against, feeling all the choices as a soul you made to arrive at that juncture, at that point. And if we were to observe your path as a soul from there forward, letting yourself anchor into this location of your soul's orientation point and feeling peace, knowing that you made it from there to here. And sure, maybe there were a few moments where your breath caught. You can probably remember them. Not all of them were fear. Some of them were probably intentional. Some of them were probably in excitement and joy, some in suspense, some that from that suspense led to exhilaration, maybe taking a leap of faith, or doing something outside of your comfort zone, even as simple as riding a roller coaster and going up the top and then knowing the drop was coming, or a bungee jump, or some other extreme thing where you hold in that suspense moment and then release, and could feel as you are screaming, releasing the breath, the acceleration of all of those endorphins flooding through your system. Feel that flood of that golden light and those endorphins coating your cells, the peace and the joy, the weightlessness that also comes with that breath and the release of the breath. Notice your command. Today is a new day, as is each day, but today is a new day. We are entering a new wave of time, of new access to energetics, both within our bodies, within the cosmos, new orientation points for thinking, and it will only continue to accelerate and move beyond our understanding of ourselves. Presence will be the theme, will be what's asked of us as the world dissolves as we know it around us, and not because of the 3D manifest things, but because we are moving into constructs energetically that we haven't seen the likes of, moving from Piscean energetics into Aries energetics, where the self is what guides us. Presence will be what's called for. The blend of the self with Aries and feeling the self in the moment is going to demand the breath. It'll be harder and harder to connect to that Piscean sensation of timelessness, not timelessness, but just the roots. And in many ways, it'll be easier to navigate from timeline to timeline to timeline, to do things that are asked of us in this new Aquarian age. So our anchor point will be ourselves and our breath. Our anchor point will demand, as Aries does, loving ourself and birthing ourself each and every day, over and over. So as you take this next breath in, to love ourself, it means recognizing the divinity within, recognizing our identity as divine beings. So as this next breath comes in and you feel and imagine not only that light of the sun within, drawing that light of the stars up and through your cells, remembering that the stars are part of your cells, remembering that the way the trees breathe is part of your DNA, and allowing that breath and your ability to stand firm and tall, no matter the expanse of the weight that you are asked to carry. remembering that you have this capacity to do this inherently within you. You don't, not that you don't need it, but that it's inherently within you. It is what's being asked of you. And thereby, as we look forward into the future, all of the weight and the responsibility that as you merge yourself with spirit, as you take on this path, and as you look to your path going forward, and the responsibilities that you are seeking to carry, that the only way they unfold is through you remembering your divinity, not only as human, but as a human divine being with roots as deep and deeper than the oak, roots of the cosmic tree within your cells, and anchoring. For as we think of ourselves and love ourselves, we are not only loving ourselves as individual humans, but as divine beings. And in so doing, we love into the divinity in all. And in that, we awaken the Christic light within. And the weight of the responsibility that is carried on the lungs releases. And it allows for the wings on the backside of the lungs to unfurl and open. Breathing in and out. I want you to stay here and breathe this light up and through your cells, claiming this divinity within you until you feel the backside of those wings opening, allowing them to gently unfurl like a leaf releasing itself for the first time, opening to the sun. So moving your light link, not only from your gaze above, but as though you can feel your wings opening like leaves and the sun beaming down at the core of the back of your heart, just between your shoulder blades. Welcome, 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 welcome. See how far you can stretch those wings that in this moment look like these beautiful green, juicy leaves. Let them stretch their tips as far as they can to the sun. Go ahead and move the shoulder blades, really open them up. Let them feel the newness of this light stretching the shoulds of the old world and paradigm, no longer collapsing this energetic field. The shoulds of the weight of the Piscean field, the collective and its voices no longer collapsing, that veil no longer collapsing, letting yourself swim above its murkier, heavier waters towards that light, finding the strength from within, sparking your own cells as you activate them the DNA, little fires of light, like fireflies, organizing themselves into form, spiraling together like a centrifugal force to form a beautiful tree trunk within you, reaching to the heavens, reaching to the stars, strengthening those wings behind you. And then allowing yourself to take flight. Not because you can, but because the truth of who you are rises from the density. Iskatchen, as one of the greats, Rowena Kreider, called it, truth from the density rises. Iskatchen, anchored in this form for what we are becoming, bound upon loving ourselves, breathing in and out, peace personified. Rolling your shoulders, licking your lips, letting your body fully breathe. Choosing today as your day to rebirth, to surrender, to draw the line of completion of the before and the after. You did it. You think back now to where we started, standing on that, in that moment of that first breath. And again, here in this moment of this first breath, in this energetic body with this new dimension, there's no way, even yesterday, we could have conceived being able to breathe from this energetic, being able to feel. And so envision just how much we know everything has changed energetically in the last even 3 weeks, let alone 3 to 6 months. So imagine now, we know we have huge astrological shifts coming in the next 3 to 6 months. Imagine what else is going to become true in that window. Feel yourself anchored, the truths that you will hold, the lines you will draw to ensure those truths come into form, and all that will dissolve as a result of that reckoning. You are birthing the weights that will lift. Let a smile grace your lips. Welcome. Congratulations. You've ridden so many waves. You've lived at this cutting edge, the rawness and the intensity and the density. Life pulsing in its most intense form. This is the anchoring it must be within our cells, the forging of the rose. I'm just going to leave that there with that. Blessings. Namaste. So much love.